order the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners February 9th, 2026 meeting at 6 p.m. If you would, please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices and stand while Commissioner Worthy gives the invitation followed by the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to come in and do work to serve each other and serve this community and to glorify and honor you in that process. We ask that you give us an open mind and open hearts to work together as a team, seeking the betterment of the community and to further your will. You would guide us in every decision we make and how we make it, that it's compiled in your love and your will and follows the law. If we need to change the law, then we'll be so minded to do so if we can. But always put you first and the community and the people first. We ask that you be with the citizens that are here, the ones that are watching over on the internet or by phone, and just guide and bless each and every one of us to be able to work together to improve our lives here in this beautiful county. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next on the list is adopt the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
We do. I have three changes. The first change is if you look on your agenda under public hearings where it says this was tabled, that needs to state this was continued. So change the word tabled to continued. The second change will also be on the agenda to add above report from county administrator, report from ACCG legislative coordinator. And the last change will be to add number 7 under new business. And that's going to be, John, you want to give them the title?
That will be the MOU for EM Grants Manager. The MOU for EM Grants Manager.
Would you go back to what you said before that? Report county administrator, county commissioner, what all was that?
Oh, okay. So before the report from the county administrator, we need to add report from ACCG legislative coordinator.
Yeah, and that'll be number what?
I'm gonna have to renumber that, so you're gonna make that Roman numeral, and then I'll number it down from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no other addition to the agenda?
No, sir.
Need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So move. Second.
All in favor? Presentations,
No, sir.
finance report.
Yes, sir. Commissioners, these are the bank balances as of this afternoon. The investment earnings have been updated as well. Listed below are the lost, and T-SPLOST distributions received in January. On the second page, the SPLOST balance is negative 280,000, as no advances have been made from the general fund yet. The T-SPLOST balance is 960,000.
Questions on finance?
Yes, but we're covering something with that later, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'll wait until then.
Nothing on finance department heads.
Department heads, we have several in attendance. Who wants to go first? Fire Chief and EMS Director Danny Stevens.
All right, just kind of some numbers from last year, I guess, and go over some of the stuff that's going on in the fire rescue. 2025, I wanted to kind of touch on some of our turnout times and some information with that, because I know a lot of times we feel like manning the stations could be an issue, but this is an example of what we work to do every single day. So on a turnout time, that means from the time we get called till we can get in the truck and be en route. On a national average, 90% of the time is 5 minutes and 58 seconds. We're at 2 minutes and 32 seconds as a county on average. Travel time from the time we get the call till we get on scene, You're looking at, the median travel time is 14 minutes on national average. We're at 7 minutes as a county. Our total response time, first apparatus on the scene, and these are for fire calls. Alarm to arrival, 90% of the time on national average, 17 minutes and 9 seconds. Meriwether County's time is 10 minutes and 9 seconds. Just kind of touch on some of our fire breakdown. Our calls, we've got about 5. They're not really hot spots, but it's some areas that we manage on a daily basis and try to have people at as a department. And overall, our first area that has the most responses is Warm Springs area with 860 responses. Greenville is second at 780. I can remember in years where Warm Springs was double of what the other parts of the county are. So that just shows how the county's changing, in this area and where our responses are. Woodbury is at 567. Luthersville is at 423. And then Lone Oak is at 295. So that's my top 5 areas of, the highway breaking down. Our call types overall as a department, fire calls make up 3.37% of our responses.
3.37.
3.37%. Our EMS or rescue calls is 82.3% of what we respond to on a daily basis. Our canceled or good intent calls, the way they break them down in part of our reporting system, is 6.46. Our false alarms is 2.12. Severe weather is 0.92%. Service calls, whether that's, somebody had a beacon smoke alarm or, something like that, we just went out and done a service or routine call, is 5.6%. And then other is less than 1% at 0.96%. For January on those call types, we averaged 12.8 calls per day. That's total 397 calls for the month of January. 88% of those this year were EMS calls. 350 EMS, and we transported over 215 of those transports. And that's going to be important when I get to this other. Our busiest days are Tuesday and Thursday, and our peak hours are 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. during the day. So that's really when we got all of our admin staff is around. We respond to those calls as well, on an as needed basis. EMS times, the following times are calculated to the average. Our turnout times for EMS, if we just went over fire, is 2.4 minutes. Our response time is 11.8 minutes, and our time on scene is 17.8 minutes. This is where it's important. From the scene to the hospital is 29.5 minutes. So that's a 30-minute ride to any facility we go to. So that takes that provider out of our county for 30 minutes, and then a 20 or so minute ride back. And then if you look at that, the patient offload time, and this reflects on some of the way our hospitals are and some of the crowding, and it does with flu and COVID. But 90% of the time, we're 39-minute offload time. And that's from the time that the patient gets to the hospital until we transfer that patient over to that facility. We can't just leave the patient. We have to transfer it to somebody. Okay. 2025 stats, 62% of EMS calls were transported. There again, our busiest hours on those was 4 to 5 p.m. Our busiest days on those was Mondays and Thursdays. So our total shifts per year, and that's with fully staffed, is 5,475 shifts. All right. The open shifts for 2025 was 1,084 open shifts. So less than 19% or 19.8%, less than 20% were open shifts that we didn't have somebody on that shift. Less than 20%. All right. With that being said, we also increased our revenue to $1.4 million approximately last year, up from $800,000. And John will be more than glad to elaborate on that. That's in part to do with, we changed the way we do some of our capturing of information. We changed our billing company and stuff like that. So that's where that's come from. And we're set to exceed that this year, correct?
Correct.
I mean, with what we've been averaging coming in, we should exceed that 1.1 million this year. Just some stuff I'm doing. Of course, I've been teaching fire recruit class. We're in the process right now of interviewing for some a training chief to replace a position that we had. And I moved somebody over to operations. We're getting that position filled. Been working, trying to get the specs on additional remount for an ambulance because there again, we're 8 months out on that. We get mileage on some of the other ones that were remounted, so we just kind of want to stay in that cycle. Present that to y'all. Our 2 tankers, I talked with the guy this building those today. They're still scheduled to be here around the middle of April. So that's still pretty much, he's got chassis ordered. And when those order, he said they will probably start March doing the fabrication on the tanks. When the chassis come, tanks should be ready. They merge together in a couple of weeks. We should have our trucks, those 2 4,000-gallon tankers. Fire recruit class, like I said, I've been working, very, very hard on that, getting that done. We got 7 students in that. We started with 7, we still got 7. We had 2 that didn't show up initially. We hired 9, made several job offers. We went through a bunch of applications, but we ended up with a group of 7. That's where we're at with that. We completed our EMS research in January. That's where the state office of EMS comes down and inspects every one of our apparatus, our EMS apparatus. No problems with that whatsoever. We got EMS certification renewal. This year we have certain certain EMTs and providers that are renewed every 2 years. So every year we have a different group by 50-50 that have to renew. That'll be up on March the 31st. We're they're getting their hours and things like that, getting that renewal done. We've also got several applications for the next recruit class. So, we're hard at trying to get this thing, get everybody trained up where they need to be and fill the rest of the remainder of these stations. We got new radios. We got 20 of them in, 20 are on the way. They've already been ordered from my new budget year. With those 20, we've inventoried those and placed numbers and asset IDs on every one of the radios. We're developing a training class on how those operate because they'll be completely different from what we're used to. And they should be deployed really this week. So, and that's pretty much what I got.
You have open positions, and once you have these 7 in the academy, you're going to get like about 7 more again, right?
I hope more than that. I mean, we shoot for 15, but I'll take them as if I can get up to 7 or 10. We'll go ahead and start another class, try to get those guys trained up.
So basically, we do have the open positions. You're going to keep going once these roll out.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Thank you. This is great information.
Where do we stand on hiring some more EMS? Because I see like there's a lot that's what the calls are. So do we have job openings for those posted so that we can bring some in for the ones who don't want to be a fireman? Do we have some in process for that?
Nobody's applied. I got open positions, but I haven't had an application for that yet.
Okay.
But there's these recruits, once they complete the fire class, they'll actually be in the advanced EMT class as well. So 2 of them are already EMTs. So we're utilizing them, as well. So they're getting their fire cert while they're also an EMT. So 2 of them are already that. So
I want to say on what you said about the ambulance travel time, almost 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes back. But until you transfer that patient, it could be an additional 30 to 2 hours.
that's an hour and a half, 2 hours on a transfer.
Right. So if you have a person there in the ER until you can do the transfer, that time just adds to that the unit's out.
And it's mileage too, guys. I mean, it racks up mileage on these apparatus because you go to Columbus, 12.8 times. In fact, we don't go to Columbus every time, but if you have to go down there, that's 45 mile ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then on LaGrange, 30 miles, just depends on where you transfer from. So that's why we rack up so much miles on our apparatus.
You mentioned once before about the telemed and the ambulances. Have you looked more into that?
Yeah, it's still very new to the state, Georgia. I think there's 2 departments, and I'm really waiting to see what the city of Fayette County gets back as far as feedback on that. So it's a relatively new concept.
One of my classes that I just did was public safety, and they were talking some more about that. Told me that we had been looking into it, and that's just a good, it's just making sure the billing gets done.
Yeah, I'd love to, because it's pretty much you take your tablet when you come in contact with a patient, because a lot of these not necessarily need to be transferred to an ER. A lot of them have um transportation issues or daycare issues, and they end up calling us as a last resort to get to a hospital. Where and you know, if they activate the 911 system and they say they want to go to the hospital, we got to take them to the hospital. You know, because we can't diagnose them, so to speak, in the back of the ambulance. Whereas with this telemedicine, they will do social work all the way through the process to get them, you know, if they need food. I mean, it's that in depth to where they'll get them the resources to them to schedule a doctor's appointment, get them, take them to a doctor's appointment versus, you know, flying up our.
So is the telehealth only social work or is it MDs and all too?
It's all of it. It's MDs. It'll be social worker. It'll also be when you do the telemedicine, we'll do the vitals.
Right.
The doctor will evaluate them.
Right.
Look at our monitor strips and all that stuff and say, hey, we think we can schedule this with a primary care physician versus going to the ER.
Right.
It helps us, but it also helps the ER to keep it from becoming, you know, jammed up. Because a lot of times it's cold and things like that. That maybe just progressed over time because they didn't get the right appropriate care.
Is there a company that Fayette County uses?
Insight. I think that's what it's called. Pretty sure it's Insight.
Okay.
And that's always a discussion in our Region 4 EMS council meetings. But we've had a lot of people kind of slow. There's a lot of bugs that need to be worked out and make sure the legalities of it are meeting what needs to be.
You have a presentation or something like that I'd like to sit in on.
Absolutely.
When the sheriff had telehealth, he took me to Atlanta with him to look at it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, absolutely. I'd probably get them to come in and, you know, talk to you guys if that's something that you're really interested in. They'd probably come in on one night and give you just a short glimpse and presentation of what they do.
yeah, I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Seems like we're moving in the right direction.
The Recreation Director, Alan Fordham.
Good evening. Want to bring you up to date on some things going on with the recreation. This past year has been a positive and productive one for the Meriwether County Recreation Department. While significant improvements have been made, we recognize there's the need to address more, and we're excited to continue working to make those goals a reality. We would like to thank the Board of Commissioners for their continued support of the recreation program. Your financial support, volunteer efforts, and participation in events have been instrumental to the department's success. I'm going to read off to you now a couple of the most recent summary of the recent improvements and accomplishments, including several items you may or may not have already been aware of. Department improvements. We've created the sponsorship program with the banners and other ways to sponsor the rec department, which has helped meet some of the departmental needs, as well as provide some scholarships for participants that are in need. We appreciate the purchase of the concessions trailer. This has proven to be a valuable asset and has already been utilized for multiple locations, including at Lake Meriwether and at the ball field and a couple of other events that we've had. The decaling for the trailer is scheduled to be installed soon. With the design, we expect to be finalized this week. The Rec Desk program has been implemented and is currently being promoted for registration, event scheduling, and point of sale transactions. This is a new system and has required some adjustments, but we're confident that it will become one of the most useful tools in our toolkit. The Recreation Advisory Board has been established and is making gradual process due to several challenges the past couple of months. The meetings haven't been able to take place, but we look forward to continuing collaborating with them to strengthen recreational opportunities throughout the county. Equipment and facilities. There's been several items purchased to support the improved participant experience, including new freezers. One of the old refrigerators just did not have enough room for our products. We have one in the gym concession stand and one in the a smaller one in the concession trailer. Each concession area has Coke coolers now. And we place our orders through the Coca-Cola company so that we get a better rate on purchases. The flat top griddle we got new football equipment with shoulder pads and helmets at a good deal this past season. We got a portable scoreboard for our flag football games and can use them for baseball or basketball if something happens to one of our other scoreboards. We've got an inflatable tunnel for the teams to run through. A lot of the departments have gone to those. That was a reasonable purchase. That didn't really cost that much for us. And we also had breakaway banners made for them to run through instead of constantly having to have somebody do paper ones. And the kids are eating it up. They're really enjoying both of those. And that's what we want to do. Make the kids happy and want to come back. Most recently, we've acquired wall padding to go behind the basketball goals in the gym. The railing to put those up has just come in. We hope to have those up this week. During the past year, we've hosted numerous events. Most have been successful, but not all. These include the GRPA district baseball and softball tournaments, Dizzy Dean baseball district tournament, GRPA state baseball tournaments, multiple professional wrestling events, AAU travel basketball team games, of course, the Harlem Legends game event. And we're scheduled to host coming up the CGYSA, which is our local league, the girls basketball tournament for 10U girls will be February 13th and 14th. So, going to ruin some people's Valentine's Day. The 12 boys basketball district tournament for GRPA will be held February 27th and 28th. We are hosting the GRPA 14U boys basketball Class C state tournament March the 6th and 7th. And we're looking forward to also hosting the GRPA men's open basketball tournament March 13th and 14th. We've had team achievements that I know all of you are aware of. The Dizzy Dean 10U boys was the district champion and finished as a state tournament runner-up. The 8U girls Coach Pitt softball team, we've already recognized them. They were District 4 champions and the Class C state champions. The 10U girls softball team was District 4 runner-up. The 8U football team reached the semifinals in the local league, and the 9U football team was crowned the CGYSA 9U champions this year. Basketball so far has gone well. Many of the teams that experienced success, even if they're not winning, they're learning the fundamentals, learning to have fun and love the game, and with a hope they have a positive influence on them for the season. As far as goals for the department, our short-term goals would be to successfully host these upcoming tournaments, increase overall participation, increase the usage among staff and participants, and complete the installation of the trailer decals. Our long-term goals would be expand the number of activities offered, add more adult-focused programming, increase participation rates, and improve the facilities that the staff and participants use. I want to thank you again and look forward to working with all of you to keep improving the recreation part.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should have Director Brent Jones online.
We can't see.
Brent, are you online?
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yes, is 911, E911 Director, EMA Director Brent Jones.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening.
Needs to be a little bit louder.
Now we can't.
Okay. That was Bella. She said hello. So I just wanted to give you just like, I guess like Danny, just some statistics to start out with. Back in 2025 from January to the end of December, now one on the now one side answered 13,703 calls. Now that could be multiple calls for the same incident. Hold on, just sorry, I had to yell at my dog. On the as far as of those calls, one of the things I'm really proud of is national average for starting a 911 call is 10 seconds. We're able to do that and have been continuously able to do that. Average time is 3.2 seconds, and that's from the time that we take the call. It takes us an average of 2 minutes to handle the call, but normally dispatched within 45 seconds. And that's the kind of the rule of thumb is if you have a serious call, it needs to get out within 45 seconds. And that's basically, you'd be surprised how hard that is sometimes with trying to get the information out of somebody who's hysterical. Additionally, we handled 27,443 admin calls, and that's like non-emergency calls, people calling, wanting information on stuff, and so forth. For a total of 41,749 calls that came in. Now, again, I want to say this is that's not the number of calls, of course, but that is the number of. I'm sorry, when I say calls, I'm talking about a documented CAD, computer assisted dispatch, where they go to an address, so forth. Sometimes that's multiple calls, people calling back, or multiple people calling for the same incident. There's something called an abandoned call, basically, and that's when somebody calls 911 and they hang up right away. We capture that information and we call them back to see if there's an actual emergency. We had 603 of those in 2025 that were handled. But the percentage within goal was 99.89%, which I'm pretty proud of that. And then some of those calls, we had 14 that were outside of that with under 12 seconds. And that basically when we had multiple calls coming at the same time with limited, dispatchers. So as far as that goes, that's unless anybody has any questions about that. As far as dispatch times, number of calls, I'll go ahead and move on. Moving on. Throughout 2025, we had some key staff changes, and one of the goals was to improve the morale of our 911 center, the employee experience, as well as the training system, and we've been able to do that through the use of a program system called Virtual Academy. We've been able to capture our training program and get it into the system to where we're able to track trainees when they come in, where they're at, how they're doing, daily observation reports with them. And basically it helps us help them, if that makes sense. Additionally, the system also allows our dispatchers that are there to get their required hours in. And by doing this now with a huge catalog of classes that they can take, they can self-register for these. I got some people that have over 100 hours of continuous training, which they're only required to have 12, but most everybody has got over 40 hours, with some of them deciding to take more classes as they come available. Doing so, again, has allowed us to track our trainees that we have. Now, I'll say this, currently we have 8 openings. This past year, We lost two very good people that came out of training last year. One went to another center for more money, and the other one, she left and went to Colorado for another job, not having anything to do with 911. But we've already got them replaced, and we have the new trainees in place. We have three trainees right now, and we're looking to hire a fourth because we can only train four at a time. But currently, we have 8 openings, and we're looking to fill those as we can train people. Any questions about that?
Yes, why can we only train 4 at a time? What's the
Because
bottleneck
I only
there?
have four. I only have 4 shifts, and that shift can only handle one trainee at a time. Basically, because a trainee, it costs us about $28,000 to train somebody. That's basically paying them for 6 months to be there and learn. You know, it isn't like we can send them to school somewhere and they come back ready to go. I mean, this is on the job training. It's the only department in Meriwether County that everything is 100% on the job training. They do have a week-long class that they go to and Foresight. And then usually we send them after 3 months after their probation. And of course, the probation 6 months as far as our department goes. But with the county probation, them starting benefits is 90 days. Once they've achieved that, then we'll send them to Forsyth for a week for their basic communication officer training. So yes, that's why that's why we can only train 4 at a time. Because basically that trainer is basically married to that trainee. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, a lot of my people are new still, and they're not at the level yet to be able to train. Does that answer your question, Commissioner Worsley?
Parts of it, yeah. I have multiple more questions now, but I'll do
Okay.
I'll do those answers separately.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. Let's see. As far as that goes, I don't want to drag that out. I mean, I'm just trying to be as quick as possible with y'all. We have instituted the new radio system, and I'd like to thank you guys for making that happen. We still have some issues with it. We're trying to get that right, but right now the SO's using it. They seem to like it, and we're still trying to get that implemented into our old radio system to where both these will work together, and that's kind of the key of this new system to do that. But the deputies have been all, I think, distributed their radios, and they're using them for right now. We are still having a little bit of issues that we're trying to work out with Harris and Williams and get those issues taken care of. Other than that, I mean, good radio system, great. Looking forward to see, what we can make happen with it. Any questions on that? All right. EMA last year we brought back about $140,000 worth of grant money that we got back from the storms in 2023. And I guess that we used that for a lot of the radio stuff, which that's what it was from. As far as that goes, I mean, a lot of my people are, they're tired just because we're running a little short. But other than that, that's pretty much what I got for y'all. I mean, unless you guys have a question for me or anything, Commissioner Worsley, if you wanted to get into some of the other stuff.
No, I'm not going to do it at this time. I'll go through John and you and this. Yeah, probably be pretty boring and generic for most everyone else. So we'll do it in emails and texts. Yeah.
I'll be in contact with you, Brandon.
Any other questions?
All right.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
All right. Thank you.
I have Planning and Zoning Director Cassandra Jones. I got one more after that one, and we're done with the department.
Mine's gonna be short and sweet. I just want to let you guys know that Leslie and I went first part of last week to do our soil erosion red card class, and we found out today that we both passed. So that was kind of good because that was a tough class. And then the latter part of the week, I was at my zoning administrators conference and got some really good information that I'll be using forward. And that my department's now fully staffed and we're running very smoothly. So that was it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And in the corner, Mr. David Boyd.
Report we had last year in 2025, we had handled 120 death calls in this county, which we had to store 32 of them in the Marion County morgue, which is not really a morgue, it's just a body cooler in the IT department. And we're having problems with that. Before I gave all the county commissioners the same from the hospital about what we can do, what we can't do at the morgue. We've had 3 bodies we had to store out at the Calvary County morgue because we wasn't allowed to put them in that morgue because of decomp issues. And the last one I had to carry it down to Cox Funeral Home because Patty County didn't have no space for them. And there's some other things that I'll bring up later on about some equipment we need. I got with John on that.
Yes, sir.
And Jennifer knows about the situation at the morgue too. Well, that's all I've got now. Any questions? Well, thank you.
I have none. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for department.
Yeah, no problem. Yes. Citizen comment.
No, sir.
All right, let's move to the minutes. Minutes January 27th, 2026, regular meeting at 6 p.m.
Made a couple of typo corrections. Y'all probably don't have the updated because I've done it after they were printed, but those have been corrected.
That's it.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Public hearing, case number PC 25-14, request from James Flournoy located at 140 Sherry Lane, partial number 074-02 for the special use of 3 lots in his manufactured home park to allow for recreation vehicle. This was continued from 2027-26 regular meeting.
Make a motion to open public hearing.
Closed it.
We didn't close it.
We continue. Made a motion to open the public hearing.
Second. Third.
All in favor?
Okay, so we've continued, you guys have continued Mr. Flournoy's application because he's wanting to do 3 RVs in his mobile home park. Since that meeting, we actually, Leslie was able to reach out to a resource that we have. Her name is Sharon Bold, and she works with veterans. And she said that she actually has 3 manufactured homes that she would give Mr. Flournoy to put on these 3 spots. The only thing would be no charge to him. They actually cover the fees for that. He just has to come into agreement to do it. He is not here tonight, and I'm not be able to get in touch with him today. So I do not know what his wishes are at this point.
Well, so, I mean, he's allowed to have mobile homes, correct?
Yes, he is allowed to have mobile
Under
homes.
the current ordinance.
Under the current ordinance, he is. It was my understanding that because that he originally had the mobile home and RVs, but then he went strictly to mobile homes, that now has put him strictly into the current ordinance, which is mobile homes only.
Yeah. Do we know if these 3 mobile homes that you spoke about meet state and federal requirements to be on the highways and transit?
They will have to be.
Right.
Yes, they will have to be. That's one of the things that the state requires them to be.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't
And then-
know. I mean, if we
yes.
accepted something.
And she's done that before in the county,
Okay.
and throughout the counties. So she's aware of the regulations that have to be met. And then we have to make sure that our inspector inspects them as well.
That's completely irrelevant to what he's asking for us, right? He's asking us for a special use permit to allow RV parking.
That's why he.
So it don't matter whether they bring him trailers or not, then we can re-inspect after that.
Right.
The question for us is, well, are we gonna allow RV parking on this property?
No, I know what the question is. I just want to make sure.
Sorry, okay. I didn't want us to get down too, bro. but he's not here to
He's not here
discuss.
tonight. So if we make the decision tonight to not allow the RVs, then he could come, would he even have to come back to have mobile homes put on, or since those were there? He would not. Then he could just come to you, because you need to make sure that the power changed over from the 50 amp to what, because he said he put in 50 amp breakers on the power poles. So we need to make sure we check those and get those updated.
Correct. They would have to get building permits to put in the money.
Right.
Well, how long would he need to get it cleaned up, you think? How long should we give him to clean up the existing things? 120 days or?
It's up to you guys. I'll do what you guys would wish.
Do we have an ordinance in place already that indicates a time frame?
A what?
Do we have an ordinance in place that already dictates a time frame?
We normally give someone a 30-day warning,
Okay.
and then it depends on how, if they're working with us during that warning, we may give them 30 more days. So it's a total of 60.
But that's like the house over there close to where I live.
Yes.
Y'all been working with him, then
Mhm.
they were involved with that same group, then that
Yes.
group backed out. And I think it's going on 8 or 9 months now. We're still trying to.
That one actually, I believe, court date. That one now has a court date.
It does.
Yes.
But either way tonight, we're just adding on RVs anyway.
Well,
Either way tonight.
he's
that
only
RVs are
asked
fine.
for a special use permit to place RVs.
Right,
right. So that's your only decision.
Right.
Right, I understand that, but I'm talking about to move them. How much time can we give him to move them? Can we,
Whatever you want.
so we
And I don't
can,
know, I mean, most counties and cities have some kind of, it's usually like a junk property or
Mhm.
unsafe structure.
Yeah.
But that's a code enforcement thing.
Yeah.
That's different than this. This is to have zoning, can he put RVs or not?
oh,
That's a separate issue.
Okay.
Because according to Cassandra, he's allowed to have mobile homes.
Right.
Mhm.
But the
Yes.
RV, that's the only issue before this board is whether y'all grant him a special use permit for RVs.
well, it's in my district. I make a motion.
Well, first of all, you need to see if anybody else.
Oh, well, yeah, we gotta close the public hearing anyway.
And you need to see if anybody else wants to speak.
Does anybody want to speak in favor or against?
All right, now you close if you want to, or you can continue.
Continue.
I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
All right,
All right, well, it's in my district.
yes, sir.
So I make a motion that we deny this request.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, move on to appointment to the Three Rivers RD and C Board. This is a 1-year appointment that will expire December 31st, 2026. This is a board appointment.
Mr. Chairman, you skip number one.
Skip the first one. Look back, I think Lake Meriwether's first.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
Appointment to the Lake Meriwether Advisory Board District 2. This is a 2-year term. It will expire on January 28th, 2028. This will table from January 27th, 2026 regular meeting.
I'd like to make a motion, we appoint Chip Walton to Lake Meriwether Advisory Board.
I'll second. All in favor? Now, appointment to the Three Rivers RDC Board. This is a 1-year appointment that will expire on December 31st, 2026. This is a board appointment.
Commissioners, this appointment, there's 2 appointments for this board. One is being currently held by Ms. Faith Perdue. She's the non-public member, and one would need to be a board member. So I'll leave that up to you guys on who y'all want to appoint.
Yeah, I was on it last year. A lot of times the chairman, but anybody on the board can do it. So if you wanted to do it, you're welcome to. If you'd like someone else to do it, somebody else can speak.
I'll be glad to do it.
I'll make a motion to appoint Emmett.
Second.
All in favor?
There you
Oh,
go.
I abstain.
Thank you.
That's
it.
Thank you.
I got you.
Unfinished business, consideration of engineering services for the administration of the 2026 LMIG bid process. This will table at the January 27th, 2026 regular meeting.
Commissioners, EMC Engineering Services has submitted a proposal in the amount of $62,810 to administer the 2026 LMIG process, which is estimated at $1.675 million. Chris Brazel with EMC Services is here to answer any questions that you may have. If this item is approved, it will require the chair or vice chair to sign.
How much did this cost last year?
40,000
And who was it through last year?
EMC.
We
And
went
the
up
bo-
that much?
Oh, so this is a percent construction job?
Right.
So it's actually went down because last year's percent was 4%. And after speaking with Mr. Gorton and the chairman, we're at 3.75% now of total construction. So it will be based off of the actual contractor's bid. The estimate that we came up with was based off of Kings Road, Golden Creek Circle, and then 2 miles on Appleton Road. So this will all be subject to what the bid numbers are going to have, but our percentage is the same regardless of what it is.
This was based off of staff's proposal of 1.675.
That's correct. We haven't looked at the roads yet. We haven't been asked to. And that fee proposal, just to clarify, that includes assessments, the bid documents, and preparing all the engineering for that, handling the bid process, recommendations for award, coming to meetings, and then doing full-time construction management and construction administration. We'll have inspectors on site. We'll be working with Marietta County staff, as with the contractors on site, handling all the public relations and really being the extension of the county.
How many projects does EMC currently cover for us?
The 2025 LMIG and the courthouse, they are the engineer architect over the courthouse. We're River City being the contract or construction manager.
And we're also doing a on-call plan review services with
Yes.
Sandra and John. Just anything that y'all come in, we're reviewing any type of technical drawings and acting as your county engineer. We certainly appreciate that and want to grow that relationship with the beginning.
What about the time frame on doing this 2026?
So based off of my conversation with Mr. Gorton, we plan to have these documents on the street by the end of March and hopefully come to an award. Depends on y'all's schedule. April, May of this year, we'll definitely try to work that into this paving season. I think there's some advantages when we already have a contractor in the vicinity. I know we're moving over to Stallball Road, Wrightsville, and Melvin Harris is already complete with deceptions and punch list items. So, we've got the opportunity to really get these contractors re-engaged while we're hitting another paving season. I don't want it to carry over into the fall if we don't have to, so.
Yeah, they're gonna be done with Stovall before we can get this process.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, they,
Commit that, but yes.
yeah,
I know it's kind of slow out the gate, but I'm very pleased and hopefully the citizens of Marietta County are pleased with the work that the contractor's done and looking forward to getting another project out.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but positive comments.
take 1 second. So there is anticipated funds left over from what we're currently doing, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you guys are deciding where to go with that.
Correct. All board's recommendations pending with staff and working with EMC.
Okay.
And so that's kind of two things on there. We have the opportunity to amend the current contract if we want to, and we've got a contract that's willing to do that. We've already added Wrightsville Road. We need to find out sooner or later, because as you mentioned, we'll be done with Stallbuck, whether it holds out for another
Probably
week.
this week, yeah.
And then the other option is to increase the budget on the 2026 element, which we can do that because you can stack 3 years in a row. So we might can add another road or extend to Allenton or something like that. I know not still priced on it, but I really want to dig in with your staff with that pavement assessment. We don't want to do worse to first. That's a bad program. But I think if we can get this project out the door and spend some time together, we can really do a comprehensive pavement management plan, which most of the municipalities are striving to do. Let's preserve and not always rebuild.
Right.
Any other questions?
What's the staff recommendation here? Is to move forward with them and allow the vice chairman sign?
We either go with them on professional services or we can put it out for bid. 64,000. I don't have a staff that can oversee this type of work. We have Bill Cawthorn, who was here when I got here, that oversaw this work.
Well, I'll make a motion. We move forward as proposed here and allow the chair or vice chair to sign. Second.
All in favor?
we'll do all in favor, but I'd also like to see if we can't put out or hiring someone that can do that internal as well.
Yes, sir.
Write the bids and
Yep.
like they're.
And they'll call for us.
Move right on to new business,
Nope, that's cool.
set a work session for 2026 goals and objectives.
Commissioner staff is requesting the Board of Commissioners schedule a work session to discuss the county's 2026 goals and objectives. Participants would include department heads from Public Works, Animal Shelter, E911, Recreation, Finance, and Administration. This is just to get an outlook of what the Board of Commissioners would like to see the county grow in 2026 and give some guidance.
So earlier we can do that, the more we can get done.
And typically we do it before a board meeting or we do it on a standalone day.
So, I mean, I know I'm one of the most difficult ones with work travel, so, but I'm traveling around every week we have a meeting and will not be out of town, so. Whatever y'all.
Afternoon's the only thing that works for me. Later afternoon.
I'd also like to see fire and EMS come. I saw those weren't included on here.
I apologize. I meant to have them on.
Okay, thank you.
Make a suggestion to maybe have it before one of your night meetings coming up. I mean, you could actually do it, I think March 9th would be the first meeting in March.
Yes, correct.
We start at 6, you might want to start at 4.
Yeah, that's fine on me.
I'll make that in formal motion of work session on March 9th at 4 p.m.
I second.
All in favor?
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I'll make it work.
Consideration and approval of a grant study.
Commissioners, we had a meeting held on Monday, February 2nd with I'm probably gonna mispronounce her last name, Coy, with myself, Chairman Collins, Vice Chairman Snelson, during which Ms. Coe discussed grant writing services for the county. She's prepared a proposal. I've received that today. It's been sent to legal to review, to pursue grant opportunities on the county's behalf. I believe we'll also need a resolution for her to be an acting agent for the county if we went that route. I will double check that with legal. Ms. Coe advised that initial study will be required to assess the county's demographics and identify eligible grant opportunities. This study will also support the finance department's efforts in applying for the GFOA Award for Excellence in Government Finance. The study will be funded through a grant and no county funds are anticipated to be used. The services will likewise be funded through the grant. Should the county funds be necessary, the item will come back to the Board of Commissioners for consideration. Staff recommends approval for Ms. Coe to apply for the grant and complete the study and authorize the chair or vice chair to execute the grant paperwork prior to submission. This is the first step that we need very dearly in Middlebury County for us to move forward with grants.
Make a motion to approve.
All in favor? Approval of roads proposed for in-house paving, Director Brian Griffin.
Commissioners, Brian Griffin has a list of 20 roads that covers across 5 districts. The total mileage is 8.98 miles with an estimated cost of $1,088,903 to be funded through T-Splosh. If approved, the Finance Department will bring a budget amendment before the board at the next meeting to appropriate the funds for expense tracking. The only thing that changed from the prior package that you saw was that we took out Wrightsville Road and we added Dallas Mill Road. Since they're already going to be in that area, Brian Griffin has assessed Dallas Mills and it needs to be paved as well because due to the many potholes on it.
So how much is Dallas Mill then? Because
estimated cost of that one is $185,000. That will bring the total up to $1,088,903.
1 million, all right, okay.
And we're almost at 9 miles total.
Yeah, I was just checking the math. That's why it didn't match. Okay.
It was about 122,000 increase for Dallas, but just because it's 1.2 miles, it's the longest stretch of road that in-house paving will be doing.
And did you find out for sure that we budgeted a certain amount for asphalt paving, right?
We have 1.5, 1.8. What was in that one? roughly, I think it was 1.5 we had for road improvement or site improvements, which included up to $1 million for in-house paving and 500,000 for gravel.
Okay. So of the 1,088,000 that you're saying it'll take to do this list, we've already approved in the budget the line item for $1 million of it.
We put in site improvements. We just need to reclass it to paving just so we can track it financially.
So this is not committing any additional funds that we have. We've already budgeted for this. There's no additional T-Splosh or reserve special project.
Mainly approving the jobs
Right.
that
Yes.
were selected.
I'm doing two things. I'm getting that for you and working on getting something for, to make sure we understand some financial part too.
Yes, when the board approved the purchase of the equipment, the lease, that's when we allocated about $1 million for in-house paving.
Okay. And you're still comfortable with that this be what, right at 9 miles now? If you're okay.
I make a motion, we approve the roads proposed for in-house paving with an estimated cost of $1,088,903 to be funded through T-Splosh.
I'll second.
Not T-Splosh, right?
It'd be T-Splosh.
That's what okay.
T-Splosh is transportation, it's roads.
I know, but okay, sorry. That's my fault. Sorry.
All in favor?
Who's second?
Gene did.
And if anybody wants to see the process beginning, we're gonna do 911 parking lot tomorrow.
Oh,
Anybody interested in free, come on by, see us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
it's getting ahead of myself.
Consideration of additional funding for road paving.
Commissioner, staff has been asked to research whether the county could feasibly provide additional $1 million toward the road paving project. Funding options will be presented at the meeting and may include the use of general fund, advancing funds to T-Splosh to be reimbursed within 1 year through monthly T-Splosh allocations, or determine whether the general fund could support the full amount independently. Should also note that EMC charges, roughly 3.5, and here I got it's 3.7. So you're looking at a 37.5 administration fee if we went with additional $1 million. You should have a agenda paper for you. The FY24 financial statement reflects a fund balance of uncommitted funds of $11,382,351. The county's total annual budget for this year is a little over $24 million, which requires approximately $12 million to maintain a 6-month operating reserve. Based on these figures, the current fund balance is slightly below the recommended reserve level. The 2025 surplus or deficit cannot be determined until the annual audit is completed. That's underway. The deadline is March 31st of 26. The additional $1 million from the general fund has been designated as a potential advance of T-Splosh for the courthouse project should it be needed. Any funds advanced will be subject to repayment within a year. The total estimated T-Splosh revenue for this year will be $3.1 million, which the following commitments have already been identified. The 2025 LMIG and previously committed $328,820.44. $1.1 million roughly for in-house paving, which was just approved. For the 2026 LMIG, $732,955 will be coming from T-Splosh. And anticipated LMIG funding was $942,044.52. We're required a 30% match, brings it to about 270-ish. And then it's additional 400,000 for additional paving coming out of T-Splosh. After these commitments, approximately 1 million estimated to be remain available for equipment purchases, gravel, and related needs. Based on this financial information, I recommend waiting until the FY25 audit is complete before allocating any additional funding. It's important to note that the 2025 LRA funds are already committed to culvert and bridge repairs, and the board will need to discuss and prioritize which projects should be completed. For reference, in-house paving is estimated to cover over 8.98 miles at a total cost slightly over close to 1.1 million, which equate to an estimated $122,494 per mile. And you add the 7.28 for the 26 LMIG and 8.98, it's 16.26 miles that we'll be doing out of 2026. And if you add Stovall, Wrightsville, and I forget that Melvin Harris, you're looking at 20 plus miles that'll be paid in roughly 2026.
No, we can't count those. They should have been done last year. Stovall, Melvin Harris, and Wrightsville was all supposed to be last year.
Yeah, it's 25, but
I mean, I get your point. Yeah. I think some of what we're trying to look at is that we need a lot done. This will be the most miles in a lot of years, I assume, right? I mean, only doing the last 3. To get 16 miles we're doing something right. Hopefully the in-house paving works out. And not to be critical to him, I think we need to see how that goes before we commit another $1 million to do it in-house. I have full faith in them, if we wouldn't have been behind them to this point. But let's prove it out before we dump more money in there. I would like to see if we're going to do it. Let's go with something that, like the gentleman was speaking of earlier, that we can combine sites and locations and drop down the cost per mile of what we're currently already going to be doing, if we could. The reason it comes up in my mind, I think, didn't we, this $1 billion designated to the courthouse comes out of SPLOST.
Correct.
But it's coming out of the special projects fund until, if and when needed, if SPLOST is not fully funded.
Correct.
Not general fund.
Yes, a special project separated. If we're receiving LGIP interest off of that 3.6 million.
But if it's not, you can use SPOS funds for roads. You just can't use T-SPOS funds for other.
Right.
Correct.
No, what I was saying is that I could remember, we have a certain amount of money in general fund, we have a certain amount of special projects.
Overall,
we discussed doing that, pulling ahead from there, and if we needed to advance the SPLOST and get this courthouse done.
Is that?
I could remember that we approve it out of general fund or out of special projects, and it didn't call that out here.
It's a special projects. It's still part of the general fund. We just allocated that to a separate line item because it was the ARPA money. I will note the total balance on the fund balance is 14 million. But out of that, 3 million of it is restricted. That's from the auditors we cannot touch. It's already been earmarked. That includes the 2024 LRA, 2025 LRA money.
Which is listed on the finance report. Here.
Correct. And 500,000 of that from 2025 was designated to the LMIG. 2024, I'm sorry, 517,885.10 is for LMIG, and 2025 LRA is a little over $1 million. We have not approved any projects for that amount yet.
Sounds like to me we don't really have any choice with the mandate on the fund balance until we get this audit done to determine so we don't go in the hole. So I make a recommendation and a motion that we wait until the fiscal year 2025 audits complete.
Now I think that needs to be in a motion.
I did a motion.
Yep.
All in favor?
As soon as that's done, I'll bring it back to the commission. We just don't know what the surplus or deficit is for FY25.
But this work session we're doing definitely needs to be outlined as 2025 LRA.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, I think we should be just still sitting on in 2024 LRA. That's $1.5 million of stuff we can get done, right?
And 24, only 500,000 that's been designated to LMIG, 2025 LMIG.
So the balance of it we need to identify where it's going.
The 24 LMIG has already been allocated. 25 is what the board needs to set for projects.
The 24 was for the bridges and culverts,
Yes,
correct?
$500,000 of that left over is for the 2025 LMIG projects. That's ongoing now. It's on your commitment sheet.
I see that. So we added that to LMIG last.
Correct. So the 25 LRA money has not been touched, allocated out in any way or form.
Got it. Okay. That needs to be part of our work session.
Yes, sir, it will be. And we'll look back and see what we reported to GDOT as possible projects.
There's more culverts and
I think it was more culverts.
a couple bridges and yeah.
I can pull that.
All right, moving along to number 5, consideration of approval and change order number 1, courthouse roof project.
Commissioners, River City Contracting Inc. has submitted change order number 1 for the courthouse roof project, reflecting a change in the roof type from a TPO coating to a metal roof. The change results in a cost savings of $25,000. This is already brought back to the board and mentioned, but the board has not approved it and signed the change order. Approval of the change order is required for the alternate roof selection, and the AIA document will require a signature from Commissioner Worsley, who was serving as chairman at the time, as a change order was issued. The change order to a dark bronze roofing instead of a TPO will need to be signed by the chair or vice chair. And this is a cost savings of $25,000.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Consideration and approval of change order number 2, courthouse roof project.
Commissioners, River City Contract has issued and submitted a change order number 2 for the courthouse roof project, which removes the 4-inch base layer of insulation at the roof gutter and changes the coping from pre-manufactured 0.5 aluminum to shop form coping. The modification results in a cost savings of $7,200. Approval of this change order is required for the revised scope of work and require the chair and vice chair to sign. Commissioner, I'm proud to bring to you savings for a change instead of more spending.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
You see, when I was chairman, I was saving money. Yeah.
I'm gonna be careful.
How's it, yeah, that's a good pile right there.
I make a motion, we approve the change order required for the revised scope of work and allow chair, vice chair to sign.
All in favor?
Hey, Commissioner, I'm no engineer. I couldn't tell you what any of that means. It's just changing a roof type, I guess.
Number 7, MOV, EM grants. Manager,
Commissioners,
CCG coordinator.
We
Is
have to
that
do that
right?
first.
No, that's.
one's the agenda item, MOU for EM grants manager.
Number 7 is gonna be the MOU for
8
the
is,
EM.
8 is
And
here.
then,
It's not an 8.
no, we're gonna change the number them down, change the Roman numeral and number them down. We're gonna have a new title on the agenda.
All right. Commissioners, to obtain access to the Georgia EM Grants Management System, a MOU must be approved and signed by the chair pending legal review. Michael's already reviewed it. He's fine with it. Once approved, the county administrator and the finance director will be granted access to georgiaemgrants.com. This is needed. Everybody who has access has left the county. I think Brent is the only one who has access to EM grants, and we got to have more staff in there to be able to pull the grants out. We have a cyber grant in there, and then the auditors need a copy of the FEMA grant we just received payment for. And the only way I can gain access is a formal vote by the board and signature.
I'll make a motion to approve and allow the chair to sign pending
Second.
legal review.
All in favor?
Legal review.
That's gonna be report
That's ACCG.
report from the ACCG legislative.
Report, ACCG coordinator. Legislative coordinator, I'm sorry.
Good evening, sir. So I just want to let you know a few of the bills that are progressing through the legislation right now. I've been attending the Zoom calls every Friday, and they go through some of the ones that seem to be pretty important to me. So one is there's a Senate Bill 462. It's ensuring compensation for the out-of-network ambulance service. And I know this is important. It's going to require insurance companies to cover the out-of-network ambulance transportation services. Right now, local governments are having to pay upfront costs. And so this will ensure even with Medicaid, they're going to be reimbursed. So that is progressing through the legislation right now. There's also House Bill 244. That's a Local Government Audit Extension Act. It's allowing county governing authorities a 90-day extension on their audit if the failure to complete the audit is because of a constitutional officer or others that are not providing the appropriate information. This requires all public officers and employees serving the county and state officers and employees to cooperate with the county. So if we have a constitutional officer that causing delay, we can get an extension. There's Senate Bill 437 that is going to allow third-party inspections and permitting, and that makes timeline revisions. This would allow builders to use qualified private professionals for building plan reviews and inspection, and then requires the county to accept those reviews. So that's something that we need to watch out for. It would shorten the permit decision timeline from 30 to 10 days, and then the permits would be approved, and if the counties fail to issue a timely written denial. A new bill that was just presented that's getting a slow start is to establish industrial use and data centers as a separate class of property. This is Senate Bill 668. It would be a constitutional amendment allowing the General Assembly to establish industrial use property and data centers as a separate class for ad valorem purposes. Local governments could then levy a unique millage rate on those properties. And one more that I found that I thought might impact us is House Resolution 1243. This resolution is introduced to create the Georgia Next Gen 911 Fund. So the General Assembly, through future legislation, may prescribe the dedication and deposit of revenues raised from specified sources into that fund to help counties out become Next Gen 911 compliant.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fulton County Administrator.
I'm gonna let Ms. Stevens give a couple of updates that she has first, Mr. Chairman.
All right, bear with me. Gotta find my sheet. Okay. Well, I had a sheet that was gonna make this a lot easier, but just want to give some announcement, so everyone in the community is aware. We received notice that the city, around the city of Manchester, Georgia Power will be in the area. They're going to be doing some vegetative management as far as clearing the right of way on the power lines and stuff. They did send a notification, so I just wanted to make everyone aware of that. If there is something wrong or something, there's a phone number that they can reach out to, and they'll be reaching out to them.
They're not using the helicopters again, are they?
I don't know, didn't say anything about a helicopter or no drones. I didn't see that. Also, the tax assessor's office, in an attempt to assist homeowners who may not be able to get to the office, before the deadline, to qualify for some homestead exemptions or stuff like that. They're going to be out in the areas in the different communities on February the 10th. They will be at Luthersville City Hall from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So members can come in and sign up for some exemptions if they, are not able to get there, to the office during working hours. They will continue to stay open on February 17th at the tax assessor's office at Building A, right up the hill, from 3 to 7 that night. Manchester Library, we are changing that location, undetermined at this point, but there will be another open session for them February the 26th from 3 to 7. And as soon as I find out the location, I will post it on the county website, make sure that the county knows, citizens know. Also, Rhonda Fuller sent out an email regarding from Meriwether County Family Connection and partnership with the Collaborative Partners. They are sponsoring the spring annual health fair on Saturday, April 18th. That's from 10 to 1 at the Manchester Recreation Department on Perry Street. They are seeking vendors and sponsorships for the event. So, that's all I have.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we have Allison, is it Lahi? Is that one?
Lahi, yes.
Lahi is currently ongoing. It'll be going on for the next 3 weeks.
They have been in office last week. They will be here this week, Tuesday through Friday, next week, Tuesday through Friday, and then I think they will be taking a break until April. So that's been running pretty well.
Yeah. And for my update, commissioners, I met with Miss Tara. I'm not even gonna try to say her last name again for about grant writing. Renewed our sam.gov, so we're all set on that end for grants. We installed cameras at the bridge with signage. Picture quality is coming in pretty good. We just need to tweak the settings a little bit. We're doing Lake Meriwether this week. The audit is up and going and it's moving very quickly. They're almost at a pause waiting on our third party help to come in with the fixed asset schedules. The courthouse is progressing with exterior work beginning shortly. They should be up at the cupola building that this week, I believe. The MLAC station doors, I've reached out to GDOT. Concrete has been scraped clean. I took pictures of it, sent it back to them, told them it still needs to be cleaned, possibly repainted. Claim has been submitted for that. They are having the contractors go back out there and look and see what can be done on that one. Met with IDA and the water sewer, had their meeting, and then we had Clarity ITS come in and fix the sound. And to the public, I hope they can hear a lot more clear now. It's not echoing. And we tested it in the house on Friday. Everything worked fine. So hopefully the people that are listening, it's very clear on that end.
Yeah,
that's all I have.
Very loud tonight, and that's good.
Yeah, we was able to, with Director Jones through the speakers, that's an improvement. I don't think we've had that before. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Report from County Commissioners, Mr. Craig Gill.
I don't have anything to add.
Mr. Word.
I don't have much. I just thank everybody for what they do and just keep moving forward. Thank you.
Commissioner Sampson.
I just want to say that I saw some citizens out the other day and they told me that they were grateful that we had Director Brian Griffith in Public Works because they live near the mechanical concrete scrap tire project. And finally, their road does not flood. And they were grateful to the county for accepting that grant and moving forward with it. And so I was excited to hear that. And I'm hearing a lot of good things right now, positive about the county, and that makes me happy. So thank you all.
Mr. King.
Like always, I'm just grateful for the staff and what everybody's doing. And I think these meetings seem to get a little bit better each time we come in. Every 2 weeks, it seems like the teams come together. We're working together. People are seeing changes throughout the county, and I think we're all in the right direction. It's great to finally see something like that. But I thank the citizens for encouraging and helping us do it.
And all I'd like to add, I'd just like to thank the staff and all the workforce and all the department heads for the county, and thank all the constituents for bearing with us. And like Mr. King said, we finally coming together and getting, more roads paved and getting the courthouse fixed and stuff such as that. That's all I have. Report from county attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything.
Future meeting notice is closed in observance of President's Day on Monday, February 16th, 2026. Tuesday, February 24th, 2026, a regular meeting at 6 p.m. Monday, March 9th, 2026, regular meeting at 6 p.m. And Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, regular meeting at 6 p.m.
But we will add a work session to that on March 9th.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. On March 9th, we'll also have a work session at 4 p.m. followed by the regular meeting. Any need for executive session?
Yes, sir. For litigation, personnel, and real estate.
I make a motion, we go into executive session. She seconded it.
Ready again?
For all that you just said.
All in favor?
Mhm.
Session. Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Hallelujah. Got it on down, night down.
You do, Tom.
Y'all have a good night.